So here's a quick unbiased review of the Brother P-Touch Edge 550W. This thing is $230-ish on Amazon. And you can get the label tapes from the Golden Land pretty fairly cheap. Problem, well, let me let me back up. I reached out to a couple of the industrial label makers, the Brother being one of them, Dymo and Brady. I didn't even know that Epson made one until yesterday. After doing countless hours of research into figuring out a way to prevent a 1 inch margin of wasted material from this thing, different cut options and what have you, nothing gets rid of the wasted inch of material prior to printing with this thing. So, that being said, this thing sucks. $230, and if you have a 30-inch roll of heat shrink tape, you can only print out 15 heat shrink labels before you got to switch out because you waste the additional 15 inches of tape because this thing just likes to throw a 1 inch margin at the front of the piece. There's nothing in the cut settings that will prevent it, according to what I've read in all of their online documentation. It's kind of like, oh, sorry, buddy, that's what you get. Now you got to grab a pair of scissors and you have to trim off the 1 inch piece, or you can set it up to where it cuts the 1 inch piece off for you, and then it just leaves you with a pile of unprinted labels. It's ridiculous. I'm boxing this thing up. It's going back. I actually ordered the Epson. I reached out to the other companies, as I said. These guys never even gave me the grace of an email back. And I still bought their product just because it had good reviews. But Dymo got back to me. I haven't heard back from their marketing team yet. I was trying to trying to mooch some free stuff for the channel. Do a review on the stuff and just kind of tout it if I thought it was great, if I thought it was terrible, whatever. But this thing's horrible. I'm sure it's great for the application that people are using it for, and if you're printing out label after label after label, that's fine. But if you're just doing individual labels, like I will be, because you've got you're going to be printing out stuff. Yeah, you could do a bunch of them in succession, but every once in a while you just want that one label. And me, I'm I don't know. I don't know. Maybe my maybe my thought process is wrong in the deal, but I don't know. I just don't think that I should be wasting 50% of my material simply because the design of the unit is that poor. And I have an old Brother label maker, and yes, it does waste material, but I figured that because this one, the one that I had was an old hobby label maker, whatever. It's one of those things you pay $30 for something, you expect to get $30 worth of chooch out of it. This thing I spent $230 on. There's no way that I'm going to let this thing mock me every time I want to print a single heat shrink tube to where it wastes the first inch of material. It's just bogus to me. My opinion. This is raw, unbiased, slightly pissed off opinion. But this thing, no good. No, you go home. And it's supposed to have a half cut option, and I tried using the half cut option with the heat shrink tube, and it just completely cuts the thing off. So there's no half cut on this, where the Epson claims that they can half cut the heat shrink tube, and I've seen demonstration. I saw an online demonstration where they cut like there's a little tab at the beginning, and then in between you have little half cut breakaways where you can just rip them off, and you've got your short tube. This thing is just like, nope, it's going to cut you completely off, and I don't care what you say. So, goodbye, brother. You suck.